Alright, I'm not feeling great. I've had no sleep. And I have to be awake for the next 12 hours for work. Even though that 12 is closer to 16. But let's ignore that for right now. So don't expect anything great out of this or the next couple of videos. Because I'm not even working at half capacity. I'm working at like 10%. But needs must. So here's quick fire warning, and I guess D&D stuff. That's what I'll do for this. Sand, stone, and earth. That's all this community had ever known. Sand, stone, and earth. No great advancements in technology, no magic. Just sand, stone, and earth. Well, stone and earth seem like they might be the same thing, but there's a very clear distinction for this small community. Stone is just that hard, unforgiving, that nothing can grow on. While earth is a more loomy, lofty soil used for plants, but is much rarer in this almost hellscape that they live in. Of course, each has its place in what they use it for. The sand being the middling resource of them. Not overly abundant like the stone, or rare like the earth. Is used most commonly as easy pathways and designated sites for storage and water. That might seem contradictory at first glance, trying to store water in sand, but sand, when paired with other larger and smaller material, acts as a great filter. Helping to keep the water pure and clean. Despite the general associations with an area like this little community, there is plenty of water. It's just most of the water isn't clean, which is more or less their primary use for sand, cleaning the water. The stone is stone and is overly abundant. It is used in most construction projects as the sole material. And a few times where it's not the sole material, and they're able to afford luxuries like wood and the occasional plastic, it still makes up the bulk of their material. It's also what this little community sells. Large quarried blocks of stone. The area then filled in with sand, and then filled with water that is cleaned meticulously. Both the sand and the water are always cleaned when filling in the quartered stones areas. They're doing this in the hope of creating more patches of plant life, but for the most part, it's not working, just leaving them with massive lakes of semi-clean water. But this semi-clean water is much, much easier to properly clean than the dirty water that most of the rest of the area has to contend with. The earth is used on the very, very few farms, spread very lightly over either sand or stone. It is very rarely done over stone, but is done on occasion in the hopes of breaking the stone down using the plant's roots to create a smaller, more workable stone, or in rarer, more extreme cases, even soil. Because that's what soil is: broken down stone and plant and animal matter. Which is why more or less every resident in this agrees that after they die, their body will be broken up into pieces, mixed with broken down stone and plant, in the hopes of very slowly creating more soil. A process that has been refined over and over again throughout the years. That has allowed them to expand from one very small farm that is barely functioning to 3 medium-sized farms that are almost able to support the town on their own. Yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for listening, if anyone's even been listening.